Assembly Member Roberts.
Thank you, Mayor. Many of the points which I've raised have been answered, I think, in the previous answer. So if I may go straight through to supplementaries. Can I just double check? Are we talking about, within this new scheme, completions? Full site completions will be eligible, or is it ones that are made to start on site?
Good question. So it's not starts anymore. So if you're going to qualify for this planning, park for a second the grant, I'll come to that if you want me to. You must not only have got through the system by March 28, but also have completed at least the first floor. Depends on this. It's a scheme-by-scheme basis, so it can't just be a shovel in the ground. We've got to see meaningful progress made by 2030. Otherwise, either the money comes back if it's grant, or permission can be withdrawn, or there's a clawback system in terms of viability reviews. And so that'll be set at the consultation that I think is published very soon.
Okay, would that completion of the first floor apply to multi-block properties or of a single block on the site?
That's why deliberately I've given a general answer to the question, because I wanted to distinguish shovel in the ground, which is or the Horden, which can be a start now, from substantive progress. And so that'll be set at the consultation, and I'd be keen to hear his views as a council leader about what he would like to see as confirmation that progress has been made. What we don't want is anybody gaming the system. I don't think from the conversation we've had that's the intention of anybody, because developers, frankly speaking, want to make profit, right? They want to, and so it's not in their interest to game the system. But I'd be interested in his views as a house builder in this area.
Well, one of the concerns that I have on the Richmond property is Stag Brewery, which you'll be fully aware of, which the planning inspector allowed just 7% to go through, but there is tens of millions of SIL contributions coming to Richmond as a result of that. As a result of this new scheme, they could just add an extra 3% of their own affordable. The Mayor's scheme, as I understand it, will top up to the 20, and we could lose 50% of our SIL coming through to Richmond. And it's schemes like that which are happening across the capital, where councils are going to be losing out on tens of millions of SIL, which really should be going into supporting local communities.
So I don't want to, for good reasons, I don't talk about individual schemes for reasons he'll understand. So let me talk generally speaking. So in relation to the SIL levy, there is a proposal that can be reduced to 50% if there's 20% or more affordable housing. And there's a conversation between the council and the developer about the sliding scale, about where that goes. We are offering a top-up of grant money. If somebody wants to build more affordable homes, and the council thinks they can, to make it viable for them to do so. The concern we have, though, without talking about the individual scheme he mentions, is there are developments where permissions have been granted, they've been started, but they've stalled for the reasons I've set out. It's to try and stimulate those to get going, that these flexibilities have been introduced. What we don't want and can't have is those being gamed, and we'll work with good councils to make sure that doesn't happen, and developers.
Thank you. So just to confirm what we've heard already, so we're looking at a genuinely temporary scheme which will not complete beyond March 28? I want to reassure him
that this is an emergency temporary scheme.
Good. And it's going to be on the first floor, but that needs a bit more fleshing out in terms of the detail. Mr. Mayor, it would be remiss of me not to say as a council leader that I can't help see that as a council leader I'm losing 50% of my SIL on sites and you're not losing any. Do you think that sounds really very fair?
Chair, as the Mayor of London, it would be remiss of me not to say that last year only 109 homes were begun in his borough. The year before only 40 were begun in his borough. The year before only 60 were begun in his borough. The year before only 40 were begun in his borough. And the year before only 80. It'd be remiss of me to say there are people in his borough desperate need for affordable housing. He's letting them down.
And it would be equally remiss of me not to mention that if you hadn't interfered with the Stag Brewery, we would be on site by now. We would be providing lots more affordable housing that we're allowed underneath.
Let's be quite clear. The reason why 190 starts, 40 starts, 60 starts, 40 starts, 80 starts, in 5 years they've started 400 homes. 400 homes. The reason for that is because of the Stag Brewery. I mean,
no, it's not just that. But all you're doing is taking into account ones which have got London Assembly figures included, isn't it? So we're not including.
Oh no, these are overall figures. These aren't just affordable. These
are including acquisitions
figures
as well.
These are total housing starts. I've got completions as well, Chair. Let me do completions. So last year, the number of homes they completed, private, council, affordable. Guess how many? 90. The year before that, do you know how many homes they completed? The entire borough, all homes, 70. 21-22, 20. 2021, 60. I mean, that's the sort of failure that's leading to us having to intervene, working with developers and the government and good councils to build the homes Londoners need. I wish Richmond would step up.
Well, if we had the backing of a mayor that was genuinely interested, we would. No more further, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Thank you for the cooperation from members. Thank you for the cooperation from members in that, in terms of coming together. We've now got Assembly Lord Bailey.
Thank you, Chair. Morning, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, are you confident that your figures for the 26-23 Affordable Homes Programme are accurate, including the 25,658 housing starts announced in the 23-24 financial year?
2630 figures, I'm sure.
2016 to 2023 figures. Are you positive that they are accurate? Mike.
I'm not going to hand, but I thought, yeah, because there was an MHCLG checked and verified and stuff. But yeah, I'm sure, I'm confident that. I think the target was 116,000, and I'm sure they're accurate.
I tell you why I say this, Mr. Mayor, because the founder of Molia, a widely respected data and research organisation in the development industry, has publicly, and I stress that part, publicly accused the GLA of counting these housing figures prematurely, suggesting that many of the 25,658 homes are still not under construction even today. He says that in the first quarter of the 2023, GLA officers were contacting developers and housing associations and local authorities, encouraging them to, and I quote, dig a trench and register as many housing starts as possible. Can you confirm if these allegations are true?
So it's the first time I heard them. Can I just check it? Does he mean 23 to 26? So the reason I mention this is because 2016 to 2023, I'm confident that we smashed the government target of 116,000. It's because we were concerned that the requirement was only to have starts, not completions, that we said to the government, look, we think people want to see completions, not just starts. And so for the next tranche of starts, I think 23 to 26, there's a 21 delay, we said not just starts, but there should be completions by a certain date as well. And we're now talking to the government about 26 to 30, and that's why I said...
Mr. Mayor, this is not so much about starts and completions. You and I have had that conversation before. Yeah. He's alleging that the actual counting was deliberately, I use the word manipulated. That's the point. It is the technicality of what a start or not will become relevant. Sure. And I tell you why. Because this morning I've written to the GLA chief officer asking her to complete a full investigation into these allegations, because they are very serious ones, and for the GLA affordable housing figures to be audited externally. And would you be happy to support this and ask your deputy mayor to comply with this fully as well?
Well, I think he's right to the MHCLG. I mean, why write to the government?
I will do. But of course,
it was Michael Gove or Generic. I forget who it was now. It's one of those guys.
Listen, I'm prepared to write to them all, because this is very fair. So I want to be clear, Mayor. They're not alleging that you did something. He's quite open in his comments that it wasn't you as an individual, yeah, but it was the GLA and potentially your office. I want to use the word alleged because they are allegations. I want them to be checked out properly, because this is a very serious allegation, because of course whenever there's a start there's a payment as well. So I just want to make sure that you understand he's not saying you, but he is accusing the GLA and he is accusing effectively your housing department.
No, sure, listen, I know these are serious points he's making. I'm not trying in any way trivialise them. But that's why it's important to speak to the government, because it was a hostile government when we did this. We made the starts and we smashed the targets the government said. And the government, you can imagine, Generic and Gove would look for any excuse to try and trip us up. It was the government that signed off the 2016 to 2023.
But again, Mr. Mayor, they signed off the figures that your office provided. That's the whole point. All of what you say about the government could well be true. Let's imagine that is true, and you were in a bit of a argy-bargy with them. The point is, people are responding to figures that were produced by the GLA, and we expect to be able to trust the GLA. Huge sums of public money involved. You and I both know, whatever our political background, we have a real housing issue in London. It is our ability to solve them are based on the figures that are produced by your office. So I'm just asking, will you will you support my call for an independent external examination of these figures, and that your Deputy Mayor fully engages in the process?
Look, Chair, it's the first I've heard of it, so I can't agree to anything. What I can do is I'll take away what he said, because it's very serious, the assertions he's making. Let me take it away and get in touch with him in relation to letting him know what I'll do about them. I'll obviously read what he says, and feel free to send me what's been said, and I'm more than happy to get the Chief Officer to look into them.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I want to be clear, I'm not making these assertions, I'm just having these assertions investigated.
Chair, could I echo, the member's been very careful, and I appreciate that, and I'm sure officers will appreciate that as well, because they can't defend themselves. But I will take away what he said and ask him to send me.
I accept that it's the first you've heard, so I'll give you that opportunity. Thank you very much, Chair.